Okay, I probably should have done another video earlier. I've gotten all the honing done. I started off with this in each cylinder just to, because I've watched a lot of videos, these keep the cylinder walls nice and straight. A ball hone is just going to hit everything kind of randomly. These, could level out the cylinders if for whatever reason they're not, perfectly straight or smooth or level or whatever. So just start off with this just a little bit just to kind of scratch it up, look at the surface, make sure it's all nice and even. And it was. All of these were perfect. And this engine only has 90 hours on it anyway. And then after that, then I hit it with a ball hone in each one to basically get the cross hatching. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I'll see. You can kind of see it there. I got a nice 45 in the cylinder walls. And it's literally just moving it at a slow speed. I set it on 1 on my drill and just moved it up and down real fast. And then just check the cross hatching. There's a couple of good YouTube videos on it. Try and get a 45 in there, because before that I was at like a 20 degree. But now I'm just popping in the cylinders, getting the rings on, just popping them down. Then I'll flip it over and I'll put the crank on. Not normally how you do it. Normally you'd have the crank on an engine like a 350 or something. You'd have the crank in there. You'd put these down on the crank. This is just awkward. Obviously I'm doing this hodgepodge just on a bench in my garage, so it's not super professional, but we'll probably get it done. And so far so good. I'm feeling really good about this. Cleaning everything up, oiling the cylinder walls. I use 1030 for the honing process, and after I'm cleaning it, to just kind of line the walls, get a nice slick surface for when I'm popping these down. I'm just using I believe I got this at Napa Auto Parts. I don't remember. This is just a ring. Is it a press? Is it a cincher? I don't know. But this is what I use. Tighten it down. Let's see. Pop it in like such. And then I'll come back and I'll just kind of level everything out. Make sure it's, just kind of tap it down, and then I'll just pop it down. I'm not going to try and do it with one hand for the video, but that's what I'm doing, and it's working really well. And so we'll get these last 2 cylinders in, and then we'll flip it over and we'll put the crank back on. And in the process, making sure you're re-greasing, get at least some engine assembly lube for the bearings and whatnot. You're going to want to come back and grease all of your bearings before you because they're going to be pretty dry, especially if you've cleaned it all off. So grease them all down real good, and yeah, that's where we're at. Hopefully this sucker is going to run. That's what it comes down to. So we'll splice this in and keep going. All right. Okay, we've got all the pistons in. We just set the crank again. I'm just tightening down the rods and got all the gearing set. I took a picture of the gearing, and then I marked, did a little whiteout marks everywhere just to get everything back in sync here. I just like to have everything in sync. I don't know if it's too big of a deal on these, but I just wanted them perfect. So that's where we're at. We got the new seal in the back. Everything's assembly lubed. Got this tightened back on, synced up. Now, since this had a little bit of RTV or whatever, yeah, I'm going to put it back on here because the gasket kit did not come with that. With all the gaskets I have left, I have the the head gasket and the exhaust gaskets, and that's about it. I forget where that one goes, but so just some exhaust gaskets and the head gasket. So yeah, I guess we're gonna put a little silicone on there, a little RTV, whatever. And then I'm gonna get the torque specs. I don't have them for this video. You can look them up in the manual. Torque specs for the rods, and then torque specs for the crank in the crankcase. So that's where we're at. Cross your fingers. Hope this sucker runs. Alright, we have the bottom end all back together. Got some of the pipes back on here. One of the turbo hoses. Rear fill, rear check, whatever you want to call it. The bottom oil pan, where the leak was. The whole point of tearing this down, the whole point of everything happened because this ridiculous leak right here. The new gasket for this back end where it was leaking came with the kit. It's a bigger rubber gasket. When I pulled this off, the guy had 2 O-rings doubled up in here. It did not work. You could grab this thing and twist it back and forth. Now it's nice and stiff. It's snug on both ends. I put a bigger O-ring that came with the kit in here, so it's doubled up. Got everything torqued down, got the cover back on, got all of this done. It's nice and sealed up. Now we just gotta go back out on the stand, flip it around, put the head back on, and then start putting it all back together. Hopefully we're good to go. It feels good. I don't have any gut feelings of, oh no, I should have done this, oh I forgot this. I've looked around, I've quadruple checked everything. I think we're really good, so we'll find out. Alright, we got the head cleaned up. I just used some WD-40 in here, in the holes. Sprayed it in there, let it soak, and then just cleaned it out as best as I can. Same with down here on the actual valve areas. Sprayed it down really good, WD-40, let it soak. I just took some brushes and some Scotch-Brite pads and cleaned it up. It took me a little while to, get it all clean, but it's good to go now. Now we're getting ready to put the head back on. We got the motor back out here on my original stand. Turn this light off. Got the head gasket sitting on there. We're on top dead center, obviously. And yeah, we're gonna drop the head on, bolt it on. We'll pop another video after that. All right, we got the head bolted back on. We got everything torqued down. I do these bolts at 10 foot-pounds here. The head bolts were 51. You can go online, and Jet Ski Parts has a full guide on all the torque specs on this whole thing. I wrote everything down personally. Actually, I've got it over here. I guess I can show this. This is just what I wrote down. I don't know if you're going to be able to read that. Oil case 12 pounds, cylinder head 51 pounds. There's two different crankcase bolts. The 14 bolts are 27 pounds, the 10 are 18 pounds, and then the connecting rod bolts are 30 pounds. If you need any other than that, you're gonna have to just go online and look. So we've got it all back together. I just put the tensioner on and had to figure out how to set the tension. Let me get the screen back on here. Literally, you just tighten it up to suck it in. You put it on, and then you release it and let it tension to itself. You don't try and tighten it tighter or anything like that. The one thing when I was putting this on, I actually had to pull it back, the whole thing back off, because, don't forget this, I had forgotten to put in both chain guides, which is on this side, and then I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but down in here there's a yellow one as well, down in there, and it has two prongs, and those prongs sit between the block and the head. So I forgot to put it in there, so I had to pull the whole head off again and put that in, tighten everything back down. Hopefully that didn't cause an issue. Wasn't too happy about that one, but what do you do? So yeah, everything's back together. Really good. And now we gotta put the exhaust manifold back on, figure out where all the wires and plugs go again. Yeah, that's my only concern. And then throw it back in, and then attach the turbo and see if it starts. I'll probably not do another video, and then of course put the valve cover back on. I've got the I've got a little bit of silicone holding the gasket on right now, letting that set. So I probably won't do another video until I have it in the jet ski. But here we are so far, and those are the things I ran into. Like I said, and I was smart. I marked everything where it's supposed to go. You know, you've got your tabs here on the sides of the sprockets that when this is a top dead center, they sit flush here, flush here. I just marked, you know, which one was facing what. And then of course you've got your top dead center mark here that lines up with this groovy arrow here. So as long as that's set, you're at top dead center, and these are set properly, you're good to go. And yeah, moves freely, moves good. Hope we did it right.